It wasn't just the whispers or the constant attention. It was the fear in the eyes of the women who had been with him. They would start with curiosity and excitement, but soon that turned into discomfort, pain, and sometimes even horror. Welcome to Island Culture JA. Explore a diverse collection of stories, ranging from thrilling adventures to heartwarming tales. Whether you're looking for a quick escape or an immersive experience, our channel has something for everyone. Join us as we bring stories to life, share new perspectives, and create unforgettable moments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest content. Let's dive into today's story. In a quiet district nestled within the lush rolling hills of rural Jamaica, there was a man named Trevor who carried a burden unlike any other. Trevor was a handsome man, standing tall with broad shoulders, deep brown skin that glistened under the Caribbean sun, and a smile that could charm the most hardened soul. But it wasn't his good looks that made Trevor the talk of the district. It was his manhood, larger than any other man had seen or heard of. From a young age, Trevor was aware that he was different. As a boy, he had often heard the whispers and saw the knowing glances from the older men in the community. At first, he didn't understand, but as he grew older, the weight of his difference became apparent. It was a blessing, some would say, a gift from God. But for Trevor, it was more of a curse. The women in the district couldn't help but notice Trevor. He was the subject of many late-night conversations, and as he grew into manhood, the rumors spread far beyond his district. Women from neighboring districts would make excuses to visit, some under the guise of needing help with their markets or in search of the famous herbs that only grew in the hills. But they all had one thing in common. They wanted to catch a glimpse of Trevor, and perhaps more if they were lucky. Trevor, however, was a quiet and reserved man. He kept to himself, working the land passed down to him by his father. His farm was small but thriving, filled with bananas, yams, and coconuts that he sold at the market. Despite his quiet nature, Trevor had no shortage of offers from women. They would bring him gifts, freshly baked bread, homemade ginger beer, or a plate of curried goat, hoping to win his favor. But Trevor was not easily swayed. He knew all too well the complications that came with his size. It wasn't just the whispers or the constant attention. It was the fear in the eyes of the women who had been with him. They would start with curiosity and excitement, but soon that turned into discomfort, pain, and sometimes even horror. Trevor had grown weary of the same pattern, of women eager to be with him only to be frightened away. One day, a new woman moved into the district. Her name was Marcia, and she was unlike any woman Trevor had ever met. She was beautiful, with deep brown eyes that sparkled with intelligence and a laugh that could brighten the darkest of days. Marcia was a city girl, having moved to the district from Kingston to escape the chaos of city life. She was strong-willed and independent, with a sharp wit and a heart as big as her smile. From the moment they met at the market, there was a connection between Trevor and Marcia. She wasn't like the other women who fawned over him or tried to entice him with gifts. Instead, Marcia spoke to Trevor as an equal, challenging him in conversation and making him laugh in a way he hadn't in years. They spent more and more time together, and soon the entire district was buzzing with rumors of their budding romance. Despite his growing feelings for Marcia, Trevor was hesitant to pursue a relationship. He had seen how things ended before, and he didn't want to hurt her. But Marcia was persistent. She wasn't afraid of Trevor or his size. In fact, she found it intriguing. "Trevor, yo can't live your whole life in fear," she told him one evening as they sat on the veranda of her small wooden house, watching the sun set over the hills. "You have to let someone in. Give them a chance to see the real yo." Trevor knew she was right, but he couldn't shake the fear that had been ingrained in him for so long. "Marcia, you'll not understand," he said, his voice heavy with worry. "My different. My size. It's not normal. Mine no want to hurt you." Marcia reached out and took his hand, her touch gentle but firm. "Trevor, mine care about dat. My care about you, the person you are inside. If you na give we a chance, you will never know what could have been." It was that night that Trevor decided to take a leap of faith. He let Marcia in, slowly and carefully, revealing the parts of himself he had kept hidden for so long. And Marcia, true to her word, was patient and understanding. She didn't shy away from him or make him feel ashamed. Instead, she embraced him fully, size and all. Their relationship blossomed, and soon Trevor found himself falling deeply in love with Marcia. For the first time in his life, he felt truly accepted, not just for his appearance, but for who he was as a person. Marcia became his confidant, his partner, and his greatest support. With her by his side, Trevor began to see his size not as a burden, but as a part of who he was, something that made him unique and special. But not everyone in the district was happy for Trevor and Marcia. There were those who were envious of their relationship, especially the women who had once vied for Trevor's attention. The whispers started again, this time more malicious. They said that Marcia had put a spell on Trevor, that no woman could be with him without some kind of obeah involved. They called her a witch, saying that she had bewitched Trevor with her city ways. Marcia and Trevor tried to ignore the gossip, but it wasn't long before it started to affect them. The once friendly neighbors became distant, and even the market women who used to greet Marcia with smiles now gave her cold stares. It was clear that the district had turned against them, and the pressure began to weigh heavily on their relationship. One day, as Trevor was working on his farm, he was approached by an old woman named Miss Enid. She was known in the district for her wisdom and her knowledge of the old ways, herbs, roots, and remedies passed down through generations. Miss Enid was one of the few people Trevor trusted, and he often sought her advice. "Trevor, me need fee talk to ya about Marcia," Miss Enid said, her voice low and serious. "The people dem in the district dem know like how yo and she alive. Dem say she bring bad luck and that she have a hold pon ya." Trevor sighed, wiping the sweat from his brow. "Miss Enid, me no care about what the people them say. Marcia and me we good. She no do nothing wrong." Miss Enid shook her head. "Trevor, you're a good Utah, but you have to be careful. The people them wicked, and them will do anything to mash up what y'all have. You have to protect yourself and Marcia." Trevor looked at the old woman, seeing the concern in her eyes. "What you want me to do, Miss Enid?" She reached into her bag and pulled out a small bundle of herbs tied together with a piece of red string. "Carry this with you. It will protect you from any bad energy or obeah that the people might try to send your way. And remember, Trevor, love is a powerful thing, but you have to protect it." Trevor took the bundle, thanking Miss Enid for her advice. He knew she meant well, but he couldn't shake the feeling of unease that had settled in his chest. The district's animosity was growing, and he feared what might happen if it continued. Days turned into weeks, and the tension in the district only increased. Trevor and Marcia tried to go about their lives as usual, but it was clear that they were no longer welcome. One evening, as they were walking home from the market, they were confronted by a group of angry villagers. The leader of the group, a man named Roy, stepped forward, his face twisted with anger. "Trevor, you have to end this foolishness with Marcia," Roy spat, his voice filled with venom. "She'll bring bad luck on the district. Since she come, things only get worse. The crops them no grow and the picnic them sick. We ain't take it no more." Marcia stepped forward, her chin held high. "Roy, you no have no right to talk to Trevor like that. We no do nothing wrong. You're just bad mind and full of grudge." Roy's eyes narrowed as he looked at Marcia. You think you're smart, eh? You come from town fi take over the place, but we na go make you mash up our district. We going to give you one last chance fi leave or else. Trevor stepped between Marcia and Roy, his heart pounding with fear and anger. Roy, you need fi leave we alone. We no do nothing fi you or anybody else. If you have a problem, you need fi deal with it like a man, no like some coward. The crowd murmured in agreement, but Roy wasn't backing down. Last chance, Trevor. If you no get rid of Marcia, you're going to regret it. Trevor stood his ground, his fists clenched at his sides. Me knew go and leave Marcia. We love each other, and that now go change. Roy glared at them both before turning and storming off, the crowd slowly dispersing behind him. But the threat lingered in the air, and Trevor knew that things were far from over. That night, as Trevor and Marcia lay in bed, the weight of the day's events pressed heavily on them. Marcia nestled closer to Trevor, her fingers tracing patterns on his chest. Trevor, me sorry for all this. Me never want to cause you any trouble. Trevor kissed the top of her head, holding her close. Marcia, you knew 'cause me no trouble. You'll bring me peace and happiness. The people dem just bad mind, but we go and overcome this together. But deep down, Trevor was worried. He had seen what the district was capable of, and he feared that Roy's threats were not empty. As he drifted off to sleep, his mind raced with thoughts of what the future might hold for them. The next morning, Trevor woke up to find Marcia gone. He searched the house and the surrounding area, but there was no sign of her. Panic set in as he realized that something was terribly wrong. He ran to Miss Enid's house, hoping she might have some answers. Miss Enid was already outside when Trevor arrived, her eyes filled with concern as she saw him approach. "Trevor, me know you're worried, but you need to calm yourself," she said, guiding him to sit on her veranda. "Marcia is a strong woman. Why we'll find her." "But where could she be, Miss Enid?" Trevor's voice was strained with fear. "Me not see her from last night. Me feel like the people them do something bad." Miss Enid nodded slowly. "Ya might be right. The district nah happy with ya and Marcia. But Trevor, ya have to trust in DI ancestors and D protection me give ya. Marcia will come back, but you'll have to be patient." Trevor felt helpless, his mind racing with worst-case scenarios. He couldn't bear the thought of something happening to Marcia because of him. What if them hurt her, Miss Enid? What if them take her away for good? "Trevor, you have to stay strong," Miss Enid said firmly. "Marcia is a survivor. She not going give up that easy. But you have to be ready fi when she return, because this na going be the end of thy trouble." Days passed, and there was still no sign of Marcia. Trevor searched the district, even venturing into the neighboring areas, but it was as if she had vanished into thin air. The district remained eerily quiet, the people avoiding Trevor's gaze and muttering among themselves whenever he was near. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Trevor received a message. It came in the form of a small, scruffy boy who appeared at his doorstep early one morning. "Mr. Trevor," the boy said nervously, shifting from foot to foot, "me have a message for you." "Who send you?" Trevor asked, his heart pounding as he took the piece of paper from the boy's hand. "Me no know, sah," the boy replied, looking around as if he feared being seen. "Me just get pay fee bring the message. Me chan stay." Trevor watched as the boy scurried away before unfolding the note. His hands trembled as he read the words hastily scrawled across the page. "Come to the old sugar mill at midnight if you want to see Marcia again." Trevor's blood ran cold. The old sugar mill was a place of fear and mystery, abandoned for decades, and believed to be haunted by the spirits of the enslaved people who had once toiled there. It was a place no one visited after dark, not even the bravest of men. But Trevor had no choice. If there was a chance that Marcia was there, he would have to face whatever awaited him. That night, Trevor prepared himself for the confrontation. He armed himself with a machete, tucked Miss Enid's protective bundle into his pocket, and set out for the sugar mill. The moon was hidden behind thick clouds, and the path to the mill was dark and treacherous. As he approached the looming structure, the air grew heavy with the scent of decaying wood and the distant echo of memories long forgotten. Trevor steeled himself as he stepped through the crumbling entrance of the mill. The inside was cold and damp, the walls lined with shadows that seemed to move on their own. In the center of the room, illuminated by a single flickering lantern, was Marcia, bound to a wooden post. Her face was bruised, but her eyes were defiant. "Marcia!" Trevor cried, rushing to her side. Before he could reach her, a group of men emerged from the shadows, led by none other than Roy. "Stop right there, Trevor," Roy commanded, his voice dripping with malice. "If ya come any closer, we will make sure you never see Marcia again." Trevor froze, his heart pounding in his chest. "What ya want, Roy? Why ya do this?" Roy sneered. "What we want is fi you leave de district, ya and ya cursed woman. Ya bring nothing but bad luck, and we not going allow you fi destroy what we have. You'll have to go." Trevor's grip tightened on the machete. "Me now leave without Marcia. You'll now go and force me fi abandon me love." Roy's eyes narrowed. "You'll have to make a choice, Trevor. Leave the district with Marcia, or why we'll make sure you both never leave this mill alive." Trevor glanced at Marcia, her eyes pleading with him to stay strong. He knew what he had to do. With a swift motion, he drew the machete and pointed it at Roy. "You think you can frighten me, Roy? Me no afraid of you or the people them who follow you. If you want to stop me, you have to kill me first." The room fell silent as the tension reached its peak. The other men hesitated, unsure of what to do. Roy's bravado faltered, and for a moment fear flickered in his eyes. But he quickly masked it with anger. "Ya a fool, Trevor," Roy spat. "But if you want to die, then so be it." He lunged at Trevor, but Trevor was ready. With a quick and powerful swing of his machete, he disarmed Roy, sending the weapon clattering to the ground. The other men backed away, their courage waning as they saw Roy falter. "Let Marcia go now," Trevor demanded, his voice echoing through the mill. The men exchanged nervous glances before slowly backing away, leaving Roy to face Trevor alone. Defeated and humiliated, Roy had no choice but to comply. He cut the ropes binding Marcia, and she fell into Trevor's arms, trembling but unharmed. Trevor held her close, his heart filled with relief and determination. "We not go and live in fear anymore, Marcia," he whispered. "Why go and face this together, no matter what?" As they left the mill, the district was eerily quiet. The people who had once turned against them now watched in silence, unsure of what the future held. But Trevor and Marcia walked hand in hand, their love stronger than ever. In the days that followed, the district slowly began to change. The crops grew again, the children recovered from their illnesses, and the whispers of Obeah faded into the background. Trevor and Marcia's love had survived the greatest test, and in doing so, they had proven that true love could overcome even the most powerful of fears. Though the scars of the past would remain, they were a reminder of the strength they had found in each other, and as they built their future together, Trevor knew that he had finally found peace, not just with his size, but with the man he had become. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Your support means the world to me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more exciting content. Your likes, comments, and subscriptions help me continue to create and share these stories with you. Thank you again for being a part of this journey.